Glorious day to you folks. I'm really glad that you could take a few minutes to hear my informational speech on how to achieve the most from mission trips. And you know, I've been studying the last couple of weeks. I got some information that's really interesting that helps us to understand the challenges and some of the solutions that you can employ when you start thinking about doing mission trips yourself. And I know that some of us here have really done a lot of mission work, but I just wanted to take about maybe 8 or 10 minutes and cover this very quickly. So for starters, safety, very, very important. When you're getting ready to go for a mission trip, it's really important that you look at immunizations and the way that I see it is that if you choose a reputable organization, that really helps a whole lot. That means going and doing a little research online and looking at all of the different organizations, which literally there are hundreds out there. There's a couple that I know personally that did really well. Ron did some missionary work with YWAM, which is YWAM, and we have some of that information on a handout, which I'll give out after this at the end of our presentation. YWAM and another is. There's another that I've done some work with, but I'll show you on some slides here soon. So choosing a safe location, really important. So that means going and looking at, there are so many locations all over the world, and some places can be really dangerous. So from a safety standpoint, it's really important to make sure that if you're going to bring kids with you especially, that you go into an area that's safe enough for them, but you're still bringing some value to what's going on. For instance, sometimes you might be helping out where there are weather disasters like hurricanes or earthquakes or something like that. So there's lots of countries around the world that you can go to help out. But there's also places right here in the United States that would really help. This is Gary, West Virginia, and this was just a couple of years ago. I'm in this video here, my wife is here, and this is from our church previous. What we did is we went to West Virginia and we helped out a lot of people that were in this really small town of Gary. And Gary, the houses that are in Gary are generally, they're about $2,500 in value for max value of a home in Gary. So $2,500, not even $25,000. We're talking really poor. Now that's right here in this country. And when people live in a house like that, they could really use the help. What we did in the week that we were there was to install a lot of windows, and we did a lot of work inside. What we're trying to get the point across to you when it comes to having a successful mission trip is to lean on your particular strengths. So if you know a lot about construction work, then you should probably be the leader of a team that goes and does a mission trip. When you get there, that way if they need help putting a house together, that you'll have some of those basic skills that are going to help make that a really successful trip. Focusing on what they need and their challenges in their lives is really, really important. Now, obviously, you may be a doctor or somebody in the medical field, and that's where a lot of mission trips really need help as well. So, while you're there, have fun. We took a lot of photographs. We kept a journal so that we could share our experiences and stories with other people later on, and talk to the local people that are there. You know, that's where a lot of the rich relationships are built, is that you're there to help and you live in their world, even if it's just for a short snapshot of your life. You're there for a few days and then you wind up back here in Kansas City, for instance. But if you're there in West Virginia, trying to experience some of the West Virginia culture. It's really important to having a good time. This is us on a day that we just took a break, so part of having fun is going out and just enjoying the countryside, and you can really get to know the other people on your team as well. Here's where we were talking about YWAM, and Experience Mission is one of the companies, an organization that we trusted to do our mission trip to West Virginia. But they have hundreds, and like I said before, I'm going to hand out these references or some of the other places that you might be able to look up on the internet that would show all of the organizations that are available to go around the world or even here in the United States. Here's the house that we worked on. As you can see, when a house is worth $2,500, they're pretty beat up. No insulation, their windows were gone, needed a lot of work. And when we came in, we spent about 3 days and we installed 13 windows in those 3 days with a crew of people that didn't know anything about construction. 3 of those people on our crew were just kids. Three of the people on our crew were just kids. Some of them were elderly people. We had women on our team. Almost none of those people had any construction experience. So what I wound up doing, with me having a rich background in construction, is that I really took charge when we got to the job site. When you're actually there putting the windows in, it's really important to have somebody that can not just have the skills, but the leadership in order to make everything happen. So we not only put in the 13 windows, we put up sheetrock, we painted, we tore down, we did some demo work, and we did all of that without any injuries, and we had a really good time, and we left that guy with the maximum amount of benefit in a 3-day period with a crew that knew nothing about it.
And that's the guy.
So this is the guy right here that actually owned the house. So we continue to have contact with him in the future. Construction, leadership, ministry, listening skills. Listening skills is really pretty powerful. If you're there, you have to be able to hear what people are dealing with. Listen to not just their problems with leaky windows, but a lot of people really have some spiritual issues, and it's really a good opportunity for you to get to know them and to provide some element of the Holy Spirit and what Jesus came here for us to do. And we share that with these people, and we try to get them to understand that it's not over when we leave. We leave them with some benefits at their house, but more important than any of that is what God can do in their lives. More pictures. Me standing quite safely at the very top of the ladder. Raising money for mission trips, bake sales, garage sales, donations. And I can't stress this one enough. The individually funded. If you have somebody that's on your team that can handle spending a little bit more money, I'll tell you, it's so worth it to be able to go on a mission trip. You don't have to depend on just the church and the money that the church provides. You can actually take money out of your pocket, and to me, it's similar to going on a vacation where you're actually doing some good while you're there. I mean, okay, so we don't go hang gliding or snorkeling in the blue lagoons of Hawaii, but the work that we do while we're there is really pretty amazing. This is our last photo here. So this was our last day, and we finished quite a bit. We just happened to take a photo of the church that was just down the street. This is pretty amazing work, and I really encourage all of you to get involved in missions. And that's my presentation. Thank you.